we actually recently introduced this new software update in advance of our Hulu Plus launch. And it's got a number of really cool features, one of which is a new home screen overhang. It's seasonal, so it shows fall leaves. It showed Halloween kind of overhang, and it'll be seasonal for all the upcoming holidays as well, plus the time and date. With the new remote control that comes with our new high-end Roku XD and XDS models, you actually can now reorder the channels on your home screen. You couldn't do that before. You can, if you want to have Netflix first, or if you want to have Amazon first, or Major League Baseball first, you can basically just use the remote to reorder it. Also, though, and this is, I think, really, really important, is that we've introduced a new format to our Roku channel store, and we've taken that UI that is present on Netflix and now in the Roku channel store, and we've actually integrated it into our SDK. Our SDK is what content owners and content channel creators use to make their channel. And what it utilizes is a grid format. So left-right navigation, up-down navigation, categories. And from Netflix, for example, it's all about different genres in addition to your instant queue. So you can easily search, but you also can browse. And I think that's what you're going to see content partners start to do more. We've already seen a couple of them take the SDK and introduce their channel using that grid format. It takes up the whole screen, so you can actually see a lot more of what's being offered on that channel. And it's something that just adds to the overall experience, the discoverability of content. You might not know something existed, but you might be scrolling through and something catches your eye. It may be a piece of cover art. You dive down a little bit deeper and you find out that's something you want to check out. So both the channel store, which is where you go and add channels to your Roku player, utilizes the grid format, but also we've made it available to actual channel creators. So you might go into a channel coming up and notice that, wow, this looks entirely different, and I think customers are really going to like it.
So how open is Roku to content creators? How does that work, and how do you select, or what's the process?
Actually, we are one of the only, if not the only, truly open platforms. We basically publish a free SDK that anyone can download, and our limitations are, look, you have to have rights to content, or you have to own that content to create a channel and publish it in the Roku channel store. And so basically anyone that has content, has rights to content, can create a channel using our SDK. There's a number of companies now that we've been out with this SDK for just about a year, just under a year, that actually are specializing in helping companies create channels. So if you don't have the resources, for example, there's a number of companies now that are actually becoming experts in creating channels on Roku. And really from us, from a strategic standpoint, we go out and we say, hey, what is going to position us best, and what is going to be the best types of content for our customers? So we'll go out and we'll identify certain sports leagues, we'll identify certain larger partners like a Hulu, and even obviously in the beginning Netflix and Amazon, and we'll say, hey, we really want to have that content on our box. But at the same time, there's stuff that'll start to show up that we never even thought would show up. I mean, a great example of that, there's a channel called the Northland Church, and this is a church in Florida that broadcasts its services every Sunday live. And what they've been able to do is they've been able to take the Roku and the platform and the developer kit, create a channel so that now the Northland Church services anyone that has a Roku, instead of watching it online on your laptop, anyone that has a Roku can now watch it in full live HD, almost HD like quality on your big screen TV. So things like that are really exciting because and that's the beauty of an open platform, is that you throw it out there, and sometimes you don't know what's going to come back. And another great example is that we've got a number of international channels that are starting to show up. So Indian television, for all the expats that live in the United States, this is very, very popular. It's live streaming of Indian TV right on your television.
How do publishers monetize their content on their Roku channel?
Well, one of the things actually is that one of the relationships that we announced recently is a relationship with Uyala, who actually is a somewhat of a technology back-end aggregator of content. And they help basically companies that have content monetize their content through advertising interstitials and pre-rolls, and then also and they do that for you on the desktop, on your computer, on your laptop or your desktop computer. And what they've done is they've actually created a template for their clients so that any client can basically take their content and integrate it into the template and then publish it on the Roku. Now, we don't have a system at present time to take advantage of, to basically do an advertising type of system. One of the things we are doing that's going to be coming out later this year or first part of the next year is basically a channel store paid apps scenario where a publisher can basically charge for its channel to be purchased, and we handle all the back end for you. So like your Roku account will have a credit card attached to it, and you can actually buy the channel or buy the content right there on your television screen rather than having to go, not all content owners have access to really elaborate billing systems like a Netflix does or a Hulu, but they want to obviously monetize their content that way, and we're going to start to enable that as well.
So what kind of programming will move to a paid model beyond the biggies, like Major League Baseball? What do you see that would be supported through a paid scenario like that?
Well, I think that there's a number of content partners that are looking at that, and they do it today, but they have to set up kind of elaborate PayPal systems that aren't working very well. And so maybe it's a one-time fee for the channel. Maybe it's it's $5 or $3 or $2, and then they feed the content into the channel that way. Classic movies, old-time movies, black and white movies, maybe some smaller sports leagues that have access to content that want to try to monetize it and try to find a niche there. I think you'll see things. There's right now there's subscription channels for music. So Mog is a great example of that. They do all the subscription on their back end, and one of the things that we're seeing a lot more of is a content partner will put out a subscription service for their content that handles, one subscription allows you to watch on your mobile, on your desktop, and then via Roku or another connected to the television device on your TV screen. And so they're kind of trying to go the 3-screen model where they charge the person one-time subscription fee that gives them access to all those 3 screens. And I think we'll see that more and more of that as well.